Have you ever noticed something slightly uncomfortable about financial advice? Almost all of it sounds reasonable, yet many people who follow it still feel financially stuck. Welcome to the Financial Order, where we calmly explore how money really works in everyday life. Let's look at why following sound advice doesn't always lead to financial progress, and what really happens behind the numbers. Imagine a fairly typical situation in the US or Europe. You earn a decent salary. After taxes, maybe a few $1,000s or euros land in your account each month. You pay rent or a mortgage that takes a big but normal portion of it. You have a car payment or transit costs that feel necessary for work. You pay off your credit card, maybe slowly. There might be student loans, a few subscriptions, some lifestyle upgrades that came naturally as your income increased. On paper, nothing here looks reckless. In fact, most financial advice would say you're doing fine. So why does progress still feel slow? The hidden issue isn't that the advice is wrong. It's that most financial advice is designed for spreadsheets, not for real human lives. It assumes that decisions are made logically, in isolation, and without pressure. But real financial decisions don't happen that way. They happen after long work days, in social environments, in moments where comfort, convenience, and identity quietly influence choices. Let's use very simple math. Say you earn $70,000 a year. After tax, maybe you take home around $4,000 a month. Rent is $1,500. Car payment, insurance, and fuel, $600. Student loan, $300. Groceries, phone, internet, $500. Subscriptions and small lifestyle costs, $200. You haven't done anything extreme. But before savings, before investing, before building wealth, a large part of your income is already committed. Financial advice often stops here and says, just budget better. But budgeting doesn't change the structure of the commitments, only how neatly they're tracked. The psychological reason this advice fails is subtle. Most financial guidance treats expenses as neutral numbers, but in real life, expenses are emotional decisions. The car doesn't just get you to work, it signals stability. The apartment isn't just shelter, it represents progress. Convenience purchases reduce stress in an already demanding life. These choices feel rational in the moment because they solve immediate problems. Financial advice rarely accounts for that. Now consider the long-term impact. If most of your income is locked into maintaining a lifestyle that simply feels normal, there's very little room left for flexibility, not because you're irresponsible, but because the system rewards stability and comfort more than long-term optionality. Over years, this creates a strange outcome. You earn more, you work harder, but your financial freedom barely moves. Financially intelligent people don't necessarily earn more. They think differently. Instead of asking, can I afford this? They ask, what does this commit me to long term? They're less focused on optimizing budgets and more focused on preserving flexibility. They understand that advice which ignores human behavior will always look good on paper and disappoint in real life. This isn't a warning, and it's not a call to cut joy out of your life. It's simply a clearer way to look at why advice that sounds right so often fails when applied to real people, living real lives. If this perspective was useful, you can like the video or subscribe for more calm discussions like this. That's all.